Screen Time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. A very special day. We have our buddy from Exofathom, my co-host, Mike, is joining us tonight.
Hello.
How you doing? Hey, man. Great to have you. And he's going to be continuing to join us from this day forward. Going to be giving us some film expertise and what his reviews are as well. And in the spirit of welcoming Mike, we decided to let him pick the movie tonight, and he has chosen Circle from 2015. So without much further ado, I'm going to pass it on over to Mike so we can get this thing rolling.
Wow, man, way to put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Film expertise. I have none of that. What are you talking about? Well, I watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Same level of expertise as the rest of us, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm an expert.
Dijon, don't.
Dijon's just having his dinner, so.
All right. We shot one thing back in like 2010, and it was like 6 minutes long. Okay.
Hey, we became professionals after that, so.
Yeah, that's true.
That's more movie than I've made, so.
My mom did give me $1 for that, so we are technically professionals. But my pick for tonight was Circle. So it's a 2015 sci-fi horror movie directed by Aaron Han and Mario Mosconi. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but they also wrote it as well. Quick synopsis of it: basically, you have a group of 50 people that are set in this room with this big 2001 Odyssey type, Space Odyssey type orb thing in the middle. And every couple of minutes, somebody dies. And they're trying to figure out who gets to live, who dies, and how the game works, and if there's a way out of it. But yeah, I think that's the whole synopsis of it. So let's go around with first impressions. We can start with Nick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty fun. It's hilarious. I didn't expect to laugh as much as I did.
I don't think that was intentional.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was either, but man, there were some really good lines. I wish I had remembered some of them because they were just so out there that I was like, holy shit.
Who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It was an interesting, it reminds me of a play. I don't know if they maybe made this like a play beforehand, but very Sunset Limited, Sunset Limited type thing.
I'm a sucker for those single set type movies because the whole movie shot on only one set, and so it reminds me of things like Sunset Limited, Rope, or if you ever get a chance to see it, Silent House. But yeah, those are Buried with Ryan Reynolds. Those single sets are just great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was hilarious. So, and it's it's great. It's a great sort of expose of the human mind and how we rationalize killing each other. So fun.
Right. Cool. Dijon, what'd you think?
Why me, man?
I'm going around counterclockwise. All right. I just flipped a coin in my mind and I picked counterclockwise.
Son of a bitch.
So that's how you really felt about it, eh?
I hope nobody's listening with headphones on.
ASMR.
Outside of us.
I'm sorry. I ran out of hot Cheetos in my clam chowder. I don't want any more.
Oh.
Let me see. I thought it was cool. It's definitely reminded me of Saw in some bits. You can probably see where it like paid homage to it, like the whole the morality of why you get to live kind of thing going on. Like, what are you in here for kind of thing. It was interesting because it was one of those things that, like you said, Sunset Limited. It's one of those things where it touches upon a bunch of things, like things and what we would touch upon in anything, like race, gender equality, and things like that. Just morally, things we battle with on a normal base, which we don't get enough of, or things like this gets pushed underneath the carpet. You know, I don't know much of how many films this person's done, but it was like one of those nice DEC rated films that, you know, you come across like fucking Redbox, and it was just good and refreshing, even though if it looks silly, you know. And just remind you on how fucked up humanity can be and how selfish we are, regardless to it. And that we barely see compassion, you know. But it was nice. I mean, the whole scenario wasn't nice, but it was good. I liked it.
So,
Nice.
one of the core things I guess I forgot to mention is that the way that you get to choose who dies is people vote, and you can't vote for yourself. You can't have ties. I mean, you can't have ties, but then it goes to a second round of voting. If it ends in a tie, then however many people are selected will die. And this voting system really brings out the worst in people. You get to see like class struggle, belief system struggle, all of that, all those nuances that Dejan was talking about.
Racism.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bro.
Classism, racism.
That dude was right.
Oh, yeah, he called it.
Belief in God.
That shit was so cold, man. I was like, holy shit, what?
No, he definitely called that. And it was crazy because by the time they took him out, I was like, he called that. Because I was like, let's look around the room. Yep, he was right.
So, Keelan, what'd you think?
Initial thoughts, I agree with what Nick said. A little bit of what Dejan said. No, I'm joking. I agree fully. Like, I think we all definitely saw it from the same side of the stage, so to speak, because we all definitely saw the stage play like play out the way it was put out. What it reminded me of, even within the drama and the way like the accusations and things kind of flowed, there's another single shot, single room type of a movie, also a play named Bug. I want to say the movie version was Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon. I might be wrong about the male actor. But it reminded me of that, how it's almost like cabin fever set in. You know, the longer they were in there, the more panicked it became, the tighter, the higher tensions become. I thought it was very well thought out. There were a couple of things that weren't so well thought out, but with the way it was all layered out, you're gonna have some plot holes. But overall, there's not a lot of plot holes to even place in order for me to find, which I guess is kind of what I do. I'm always sitting, waiting, looking like, oh, you messed up here. I see where you fucked up. So yeah, but no, overall, I liked it. I thought it was very well done. Let's see if people agree that I thought that after I give some.
So both of these. So with plot holes, I think the structure of the movie makes it hard to even have those, because you only have a few minutes. Like each person only has like a limited amount of time to talk.
Right.
And when they do, these characters end up devolving into like horrible people for the most part. They were talking the longest. Right? You found out who the racist was. You found out who the manipulator was. You found out who was just trying to live for themselves. Like that sweater vest dude, the old guy.
Bro, fuck that guy, man. I was so over it.
He was just a coward.
He was like a banker too or something.
Yeah, just a yuppie, man. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
I wish they would have kept to the original strategy of just killing all the old people, because then he would have had less screen time. That's true. You know, but yeah, no, both these directors though, this is like their first or second movie. I forget. They did like a little short miniseries, but have only done a few films. And usually you get more creativity out of people that have done only like one or two movies, or if it's their first movie, because you have that hunger in you. You have that, let me just try everything that I want to try within this setting.
They're still trying to prove that they belong.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And for me, my first impressions were, I enjoyed it. I definitely liked it. I kind of liked the fact that the pacing was so quick, because it had to hit these 2-minute death marks or whatever, that you didn't have the opportunity to really build a big plot hole. Big plot holes. It was a very intricate, super simple story. My biggest gripe with it, though, has to be the ending. And we can jump into that because the ending, the way that it ends is just so abrupt. I don't know if the writers like they wrote themselves into a corner and was like, well, what do we do now that we're out of this room? We've established that there's an alien invasion. We've established that it's picking up random people from LA and causing these things. So you really don't learn anything about the overall like broader shit.
Right.
But you almost expect it because it's from the point of view of one of the people in the room.
Right.
But I think it was just simple. It's like one of those things you're like, we give you a simple premise and you can figure the rest out. It's like alien invasion and of sorts where they're kind of like thinning out the herd. They're like probably one of those aliens that are like, you are some stupid motherfuckers. We need to cut down the population of stupid or survival of the fittest kind of thing. And we kind of see that. And I watched a couple of videos on this afterwards, and everybody basically had the same just kind of conclusion where this dude is like reimagining or like revisiting in the memories about the conversation and whatever, you hear his voice, just realize what he sees. Oh, I basically see women and kids that survived and maybe like one dude or whatever. You know, man, I'm an asshole. I just murdered a fucking fetus.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm a piece of shit. But
yeah,
well.
I don't know if it got that deep for him.
I think the movie honestly did a pretty good job at hiding that guy because he was obviously, more outspoken than a lot of the other characters, but they did a good job about keeping not a lot of attention on that guy. Because by the end, when he's getting close to being part of the end, then you realize that he was sort of, pulling the strings the whole time. But I did think that they did a good job about like not making that overly obvious. Just having little pieces here and there that give you the clues that he's been orchestrating the whole dynamic.
Right. Yeah. That was something I enjoy. I think I don't know if I would say it's a new thing, but it's just a very popular thing in movies now. We're not going to get any more, I really don't think introductory type of scenes in movies are a thing anymore. I don't think they're in the budget, so to speak. So we're forced to kind of pull from dialogue, pull from interactions, a lot of the setting and the intent of the background outside of what the eye can see, right? So something for me was with the alien invasion part. Like at first, we don't know if it's a real alien invasion or if they're just, one dude said it and then somebody else said something about aliens and they called him a damn liar and killed him. You know what I mean? So it's like, is there really an alien invasion? But then you still have people talking about running away from the ships and running from this and getting picked up. And it's like, wait, so why did we kill him if the aliens are real? Because I swear you guys killed him because he said the aliens were real and y'all didn't believe him. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So there is a little bit though too, like, weren't they drugged? So maybe some of them forgot about the aliens.
Those are some weird drugs, man. Everybody was asleep standing up.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's just like what we deal with in society right now, where it's like you hear something, or if it's just sounding too outlandish, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to give it a thought. So they basically, like modern day people, they gang up. That shit ain't real.
Or the other way around.
Or come on.
Or the opposite end of extreme, where they just buy in too easily.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely hits on the notes of just people in general, man.
You know what cracked me up?
Well, mostly California, apparently. But.
Yeah, all LA. Those are all. It's about Los Angeles, which is weird too to think about it in that way.
I mean, we're a melting pot for stupid.
Well, they certainly did
disguised.
They certainly did a good job about making sure there was one of everybody. You know what cracked me up? I think one of the first things that cracked me up was the fucking kid coming out of nowhere. Like, because you see the pregnant girl a couple times before you actually see the kid, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking child right there. I just started laughing. I was like, where did the kid come from?
Look, she wasn't tall enough for the other shots, all right?
A little later into the movie, by the time I was buying into the alien thing, I started thinking that little kid's an alien.
You were buying into the alien?
It was her the whole time.
It wasn't that Arab dude?
Did you stay quiet the whole time?
Which one?
Yeah. Was there an Arab guy?
Oh yeah.
And the one that was quiet, who didn't vote?
The closest would be the guy who never voted and never spoke.
He certainly wasn't Arab.
He wasn't Arab.
No, he was like no.
Either that or South American.
He was like Turkish or something.
He's Turkish, South American.
It's not like he told us.
He didn't tell us anything. Yeah, here we are speculating.
He could have been an old Indian dude from.
He's a Caucasian man from Wisconsin.
He was just tanned, huh?
Yeah, he was just
working
an
on
Italian.
Farms. Yeah.
Damn, working on the farm too.
Wisconsin.
His name was Tandy, huh?
Moving on.
Well, yeah. So there were definitely other elements. I enjoyed the cinematography of it. There's some shots in there that were like just pretty to look at, like framing wise. Like when the military dude's going off about his experience, and it like just starts to slowly dolly in on him, and he's kind of building the intensity of it. Like it's just nice. I think that's too why I like those single set movies where it lets the camera kind of move around it. Like everything's the responsibility of the whole movie's on the camera then, and not so much the setting.
The camera's almost a character, like a player in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, and you can tell too that they had like a core of maybe 12 actors that were actually good actors, because man, some of the dialogue from the from the extras that were in that room was so bad. It was so clunky, and like
why are we doing it like this?
It wasn't. I don't know if it was. I think it was the acting, because those people obviously weren't going to be in the movie for very long. So it was just funny because it was like it kind of felt like a little bit like Lamageddon. Like
I think all that was intentional.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, it's cheesy for a reason.
Where was like this movie?
Hey, when you can only pay somebody in like a coffee and a sandwich,
right?
You take whoever comes off of the street,
Right. Look, and note they also only had one real life location, so you pay it for one sound stage and one location, which happened to be a part of the LA River, which I want to tell you is some of the cheapest property to be able to film on.
Yeah, just park right next to it. And
like, oh no, but you still need LAPD. The most expensive part of that is you still need LAPD to open and close those gates.
Nah, you don't. I've been out there without them. Come on.
With a movie crew, you do.
See, you just take a steady cam out there. You're good.
I think there's been a few people who've done that similar thing.
For sure. It's very possible.
Just like reimagine
30-minute mini movies. Seen them. Might be in a few.
Just reimagine that this cast in Drive.
No.
And there you go.
This actually would have been. This would be a really cool movie if they decided to give it like a $500 million budget and just spend it all on actors.
That would be
like
crazy.
Just have like 50 like of the best actors.
We'll get fucking the little things all over again.
No,
I think you might end up with like a 2.5 hour movie though, because you're gonna pay all that money.
You're gonna have to stretch this out. Yeah, it'd be a little for sure.
Or if not, don't look up.
Look,
oh man, it might be something like.
Listen, can we be clear? Don't Look Up is 1,000 times better than The Little Things.
Yeah. But that's not really fair, because
it's not fair at all.
Little Things is garbage.
Hey, you made it unfair.
Look, that's only going from a 0 to like a 3 or a 4. So.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Paper Tiger better than both of them.
I believe you.
Nick is like,
nah, man. Go watch Cobra Kai. Seriously.
Oh man, let's just watch The Empty Man. Hey, that's from that movie we just watched, Ranga Wa. That's where that Taka shit came.
Yeah.
What?
Watch The Empty Man. Watch the Empty Man, my dude.
Yeah, don't.
I can save 2.5 hours of my time. Thank you very much.
Yes, you can. Just watch our episode on it. That's at least worth the
Just
time.
watch the last 5 minutes of our episode.
Yeah,
you get the tell you that it's awful.
So here's so within like the first 5 minutes of Circle, you get a death, you get the rules explained to you, and I think you get another death. So like the pace, like again, like that pacing just hits you from the very beginning. You're almost dropped into it too. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
I think they figured it out a little too fast. I think a few more people should have died.
Before, I think even before Buddy spoke, before anything about him or anything was revealed, before we even got rules, I believe at least 3 people should have died.
I
had to say. But I'm with you more than
just have like a psycho that was trying to push people and he dies and he pushes somebody over and they die and it's just like dominoes.
I guarantee you
to push anybody. I wanted that to happen at least once.
I guarantee you that scenario you guys are all coming up probably happened like on a bunch of other ships.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's why you can have so many sequels. You
don't
can
you
have
put
Circle
me?
2.
Don't you put me on that? Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby?
Circle 2.
Circle
put that on me.
Circle squared. You can just call it Circle squared.
Circle squared.
Yeah.
No. I'm just taking a look at my notes at these beats because it happens like real quick and like kind of breaking some like movie conventions though. Like you don't learn anybody's name for like 20 minutes. And then the person like Beth is the girl who says her name, the one who works in HR.
Yeah.
And she dies because she has no kids. I would have killed her because she works in HR. But she has no kids and he dies.
Yeah, that means a bunch of those people were unemployed. They don't have any problems with HR.
This movie is so much like Survivor. Like if you watch Survivor, like this is just Survivor in like an hour and
Last Man Standing.
It's always the same way. People always just double cross each other, you know.
Dude, I would have had Seth Rogen. I would have had Joe Rogan in this movie.
Joe Rogan? Why?
I think the budget for this movie would have been what they had to give Joe Rogan to show up just to die in 5 minutes.
No,
I mean he literally just got Neil Young's music taken off Spotify.
No. Neil Young got Neil Young's music taken
I know. I just think it's funnier when you say it was Joe Rogan.
It's way funnier when you say it that way.
Here's the thing, though.
And
Neil Young doesn't
even
own most of that music.
He doesn't. And it's even funnier that Joe Rogan thinks that shit is hilarious. He's like, you're taking money out of your... Okay.
Spotify came around right quick too. The very next day, they're like, "Yeah, we're removing your music." But
listen, something I've learned from people I know who deal with some of these businesses: the last thing you want to tell any platform is to remove your shit. They don't care.
Yeah,
you could be the biggest artist in the world. You know what they're gonna say? Highlight, delete. Just being real, they're not losing no money to you in litigation. They just gonna delete it. They don't care.
So what you guys think of these I'm going to pull us back to this stuff, but to like the strategies that they try to make to choose who should die next? Because first it was like old people,
that was good.
Then that goes for a little bit, then it's like who is morally the worst person on here, with a little bit of talk of like kill the illegal immigrant.
Right, yeah, it was a little bit. That was before we even get to multiple options, how about we kill the only person with a sound plan from the beginning?
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Of course, forces everybody else to use their brain, but
so are you talking about the guy who ends up living, or are you talking about the guy who ends up dying because he goes like full alpha and he's like starts like dictating what to do?
Yeah, that guy, the guy who was initially like, we should kill all the old people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like he had a plan, and they simply didn't like that he had a plan.
Well, the fucked up thing about it, all the plans that came up sincerely didn't matter.
I mean,
only one person was going to walk out that shit.
Mm.
And in this sense, I'm like, man, these aliens were like them aliens from freaking Futurama. They were sitting there watching TV shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all them old TV shows like, we going to do some shit. And they were like, let's team up with Jigsaw. we're gonna do some shit.
I think it's interesting though too, because it's always like you have to dance this line of not standing out too much, but also not being too anonymous, because you want people to care enough not to vote you off, but not pay too much attention to you to actually target you.
Right. You want them to know that you're alive, but you're not human.
Yeah, it's the elimination game.
No.
And
that's like that. I don't know what strategy I would take if I was on one of those ships.
I told you I would just jump at one of the people and try to knock down as many as I could, like a bowling ball.
Just take them all out. But what if as soon as you leave the ground, it zaps you before you hit anybody?
That would suck. But I would just try to get I would try to Bruce Lee 1-inch jump,
What would be really cool though is, even though you don't hit anybody, if they get spooked enough to fall into other people and then spook them, and that will work.
And what kind of goblin hands were taking these people out of the room?
Like their hands would just glow. Just
the first time it happened, I was
string.
Like, yo, what are we watching?
And nobody's going to acknowledge that the bodies just slide away.
No, they all were spooked, and every time it happened, they got spooked. But
and then they just stopped showing them off screen.
I think what was weird about that was, everybody realized that the hands were lighting up and they were being pulled by their hands. So there's clearly an implant in your hand.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. You know what I mean?
It's not that simple.
Would you try to how would you cut it out? Maybe that's the thing that tracks if you're on the circle or not.
I mean, I got teeth, and my teeth definitely pierced my skin.
Yeah,
take a lot of
look
work.
for the chip and then put the chip on your circle and then just walk the fuck out.
I'm doing some profound shit because I already know I'm not surviving.
I assume that those were pressure pads and they were geared to your weight.
Would you volunteer yourself?
No.
Come on.
What type of simp ass shit was that?
Yeah, no. Really, if we had to ever call something beta, that's beta as hell.
I like that the 16-year-old emo kid was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Beta. And not even from an alpha beta stance. I know I say it just to be funny, but the reason I wouldn't volunteer myself is I don't trust none of them. I wouldn't trust anybody else in that room to have more sound of mind than I do to make it out of this.
You're black.
Give a fuck.
Yeah, they're gonna vote you out, bro.
They can vote me as much as they want to. I'm not gonna volunteer myself. They're gonna have to vote me. And I ain't gonna be like, oh boy, and feel no way about it. Y'all didn't take me out because I was black. Y'all took me out because y'all knew I was gonna win. Hey.
But the dude that played the
black guy.
Yeah, vote for that.
It was like, all right. So we go, vote for the black guy. Whoa.
See, I'll tell you this: if I had a method, and if I was to take this movie and make it into a spoof, one of my scenarios and strategy, I'm like, all the guys, take your dicks out. Biggest dick wins. Then the women in there, they're gonna be like, "Hey, Jerry,
don't kill him." That's exactly what they're gonna say. Don't kill him. He gotta go.
Women, let's see the first.
Oh my god! Let the baby makers choose. I'm with it.
But what if it's cold in there?
Hey, it's cold everywhere.
Don't get shot.
Look, I got a grower, not a shower. You really gotta give me a few minutes. Hold on.
You gotta do some jumping jacks.
You learn to shave that shit, man. At least braid it.
So, what did you guys think of the guy? This is cardigan or sweater vest.
Cardigan.
Yeah. That dude needed to die early.
Yeah.
First off, you got.
I don't know how he survived so long.
I'll tell you. I can tell you how I think he survived so long. I think he survived so long, not just because he was old. Everybody knows somebody like that. And as much as you dislike them, they've kind of become a rudimentary part of society. Like, what do you do without knowing that there's somebody like that?
Yeah. Live happily.
I mean, I'm with you in real life, but I'm saying
get loans at reasonable interest
grand scheme.
Yeah, right.
Get ultra reasonable insurance rates.
Not being yelled at for my dog walking on their lawn.
Oh my god!
You know that he's that type.
He's the type of person. If he was my next door neighbor, I'd come home from the gun range with a bunch of empty shells, and that's how I would mark my property line.
There you go.
I wouldn't. They don't even have to be mine. Like I'd be like, hey, when y'all sweep those up, can I get like 2 grocery bags full, please, sir? I'll pay you for them.
Sweater vest annoyed me to no end. Like there might be a certain point where I would volunteer just because I'm tired of hearing people shit. Like
I don't even say that. I'll just walk.
That at some point of the movie.
Just say fuck y'all.
Yeah. At some point, I did think if I were to volunteer, it was solely to get away from y'all. Like, I'm volunteering. You're gonna. Who wants to volunteer? I'll volunteer to get the fuck away from y'all. This shit is stupid.
I don't know. I would be so spiteful. I wouldn't want to give them satisfaction of an extra 2 minutes of safety.
Well, but again,
so like, nah. Fuck y'all.
Again, would be funny to just jump off because of that. But me, like knowing who I am, it's what. As soon as you told me it was a game, in fact, that's even another side of it. I'm too competitive. This is a game now. Yeah, watch me now. I'm voting for everybody that say something I don't like. You know what? There's a word I don't like. It's called giraffe. Did you say giraffe? He said giraffe, didn't he? You know what? Giraffe thing.
Yeah, that voting system must be. You know, people fucked up the first few times they voted.
Sure.
Oh yeah, you can see the arrow. You're like.
Listen, go buy a brand new controller for any gaming system and expect it to work perfectly without updating it. Now explain to me, how did those dongles in their hand work without a new fresh update?
I'm gonna tell you about them fucking updated controllers. That shit just barely started happening until we got the Xbox One.
True. Xbox One, yep. Xbox One and PS4 is when we started having No. In fact, no, that is incorrect. Xbox 360, in fact, you had to update, but it wasn't as prominent.
Look, I gotta
get mad. Update, bro.
Maybe I'm just old, like an old man mind, but I get pissed when I see those update controllers. Like, why the fuck? What do you want me to update my goddamn controller for?
Because we don't plug them in anymore. It's because we don't plug. Okay, so here's what happens, and it makes perfect sense to me. I know this is a little left, but whatever. Actually, no, it's not. We're still talking about controllers, dongles, and synchronicity.
And dongles. Can we throw banana hammocks in there too?
No.
Look, hey, tell me that in the middle of the game, these people got updates to their hands. They got updates to the thing in their hands. That's
what I'm saying. They never had to update their hand. Not once.
We don't know that.
Did you ever hear anybody talk about? My it's not working. I gotta.
Hey, maybe that was the whole point. Like the whole point of the game was to calibrate the controllers.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just an Oculus VR. Like
I was just gonna say that, Nick. Like
handset diagnostics.
It was a metaverse game, and nobody knew they were in it.
It's Sony.
You can only play with the Oculus Quest 2, apparently.
It's Sony of the future with that circle. Press the circle button.
That stupid circle. Come on.
Squid Games.
Squid Games.
Everybody's here except X.
Okay, now this definitely took a tip from Squid Games upon creation.
Well, I mean, there was made before.
Maybe the other way around, actually, when I think about it.
It was made before.
So within B movies, there's been for like the last in 2015 you saw a sprinkling of it, but more and more there's been more and more death games about both really popular in like Korean films and Japanese films, and I think Squid Games was the first one to like
blow up, become
viral, pop off with the huge mainstream success.
I have to remember that is a term. It went viral
because it's the first one on American-led fucking platform on Netflix. And the thing is, people love that shit. And if you ever see that movie, Sorry to Bother You, and you go to that scene where I forget that dude's name, it's the main character of that movie, Lakeith and Danny Glover, they're having that conversation, and he's like, "Man, how the hell does people love it? Like this shit? Well, people love this shit, and come on, I mean, come on, you can sit there and enjoy shit like Black Mirror, of course. Come on,
yeah." No, you're absolutely right.
We love violence and tragedy, as long as the shit ain't happening to us.
Yep. So basically, people love bullshit. That's what I'm glad you brought that movie up in this moment, because talking about the different genres, people like the misdirection. So an example for me is when you think about 90s radio, you would have thought like the majority of your radio hosts back then, they all sounded black, but most of them are Hispanic or Latin of some sort. Now, of course, I only know that from being able to see behind the curtain, right? But they don't tell you that. These aren't things you know. And I think that's really what is, those kind of things work easier because people don't care about the truth. They just want to believe something. They want the feeling. They want the sensation. And the resurgence of these type of movies and things have given a lot of pleasure. A lot of endorphins have been released. And what's the other one? Serotonin?
Yep. Neuronorepinephrine. Well, that's yeah. All the neurochemicals.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pleasure even in this. We saw no blood. We didn't see anybody's head roll or anything, but somehow it was still satisfactory.
Why do you think people love season 1 of the first couple of seasons of Game of Thrones? Not because of the fucking story.
Boobs.
No. I was about to say, I would think it was because of
boobs and floppy dicks and blood.
Nah, they didn't do well. They did. Never mind.
What's Halfthor's character again? I forget.
The mountain.
The mountain. Yeah. It was boobs in the mountain. That's why people watched the beginning of Game of Thrones.
Remember, I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Head rolling.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so I'm out of this conversation completely.
Well, I've only seen the first 2 seasons and gave up.
Boobs and 7-foot men splitting horses in half.
Jesus,
that works.
There sounds violent.
Yo, but
it makes you feel hungry, want to get a burger when you're done.
Yeah.
Like
the married couple though.
The married couple.
Yeah, now that was interesting.
Yeah, because there's a couple of like storylines that last longer. But real quick, I do want to touch on the point of like the non-gory deaths. Like everybody just dies either off screen or by the hand of Raiden. You just see a lightning bolt come out of the orb, and Raiden just drops somebody.
Mm-hmm. I would have jumped out the way. Fuck that. Fuck this.
But there's like, yeah, great satisfaction with it. Like you don't question it. You don't like, oh, that looks like a dumb death. But yeah, there's something nice about the no gore element. It keeps it moving. Like it keeps everything going. But yeah, there's a few like morals or themes, I guess, or motifs that they're touching on. It's women and children should survive the longest because you have the pregnant lady and a very young girl who make it up to the final 3. And then you have married couples should live.
Yeah.
Which is a little strange, but yeah. So this
utility monster, right?
Yep.
It's like the same sort of concept. It's like we're feeding that. What is the most utility? What brings the most net good?
They're married, so they'll reproduce, and that's why they become high value.
But the movie just shows you that it's all just bullshit, sort of like
just all right.
Because everybody just wants to live at the end of the day. It comes down to you and a 9-year-old kid. You're still choosing yourself.
Exactly.
Or,
that's what we're
or
saying.
A fetus.
Or a
yeah,
fetus.
But even the married couple though, they're like nobody wants to kill a wife in front of nobody wants to kill a partner in front of the spouse or something like that. Mm-hmm. So there's like it seems like the best strategies were to play people against themselves and their own judgments.
Well, me personally, after the old people, I would have been like, look, what do you represent to society? What do you represent? I'm sorry. Like, we need certain things in society to keep going if this doesn't work out for the human race. Like, what can you contribute?
Well, here's where
that's fucked up, but
to me.
Come on.
If we know we're surviving, sure. Okay. Aren't we all here because of an alien invasion?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck are we talking about survival for?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's an invasion, but it's not a type of invasion where it's like we're taking over resources and shit. It's more of
we don't know that.
It's like because why are they keep? Because if the thing is, why would they keep people alive? That's the question. And along with that, it's like this is just basically like a game show for them. They're like, who wants to live on Earth after this kind of thing? Like, who wants to be a millionaire type of shit? It's just their enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of the point. Is if it's for their enjoyment, what does it matter to let anybody survive? Why is there a prize for their enjoyment? It's for us in their enjoyment.
I didn't think there was going to be. I thought they were going to kill the dude.
I thought everybody was going to. Yeah, I thought everybody was going to die, and that's what I'm saying. Why would they leave any level of reward for us?
Why
it's entertainment.
Yeah, but why is there a prize at the end of Survivor?
Yeah.
It's not like I get the banner. It's not like I have a bookie that I'm betting that dude's gonna survive through Survivor, right? But maybe those aliens are a bit closer to us, where they all pick somebody throughout the course of these events happening that they think are gonna live and like root for them.
Yeah, do you think it's like a billionaire's high stakes game?
Yeah, it's entertainment for them. I mean, we don't know unless they do like a perspective from them.
That I actually that's in my notes. Something I wanted to talk about is how would we enjoy? I know I would enjoy like a 30-minute behind the scenes or 30 minutes from the controls perspective.
I think you overbaked the cake, honestly.
At that point,
you lose it.
That's a hard ass cake.
I think
30
you do
minutes
it.
might be too long.
I just think that like the mystery is what makes you interested.
Yeah, it makes it for what it is.
But look at like the payoff in the Twilight Zone, the monsters on Maple Street. So like you have like these houses that are all losing electricity, and then there's like one person that gets electricity, and all these people go and beat up the people with electricity. And then at the very end, you find out that it's aliens that are playing with the electricity on the street. And this circle very much plays on the same themes as the monsters from Maple Street plays off of. So I think if you do give that little reveal, it's what we should get. Actually, it's the ending we should have got. Besides the dude like waking up on the LA River, and like he at the very end he wakes up on the LA River, walks to the street, and sees other people staring at these UFOs. But I think what we should have got was like him getting out of the spaceship, and then you see the aliens' perspective at the very end of everything, just maybe in a couple of sentences saying what they wanted to get, or maybe they got the results they wanted, maybe they didn't, maybe it's entertainment. Like you clear all that shit up in the last 120 seconds.
I think it's fine as a mystery, to be honest, because I think any answer would be hokey as fuck. I don't want to know if it's just a whole bunch of alien billionaires using us as a game show. I think it's good that we don't know, to be honest. Like that, and that's the type of thing that makes these type of movies interesting to me, is like if you don't flesh everything out, you can still leave interpretation. And I think it does well enough to leave interpretation. I mean, I think the ending leaves enough interpretation to think that guy's going to go back into another one and win another game.
True.
Seems to me like he was right there with a group of people that were all just as diverse as the first people, and they're staring at a ship and it's coming closer, you know. It's like,
I was going to say that's kind of foreshadow, because if you really sit there and look at the people that survived, it's just the thing basically like foreshadowing of what they're all were trying to become the strategy of women, children, an old person, some douchebag, and things like that. It was just like, oh, bits of people who they want to survive, who didn't think they would survive, all mashed up right there.
Well, I think he feels like, my question is, how many games has he played, the Survivor? And because remember, he knew a lot really early, and even like my wife felt like from the very beginning, like, oh nah, he know too much, something's up, you know. So the question is he playing this game? What does he think the reward is? Like, does he think or feel like eventually they're gonna keep me and I'm gonna be one of them, or like?
I think he just gets off to it, like he's like his new high.
That's like it's like a form of indirect murder.
Yeah.
It's like a thrill.
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of reading too much into it, and that'd be stupid if you want to get off going into the fucking thing, because it's like it's a random selection, dude. This is a situation like the California law. Hey, you can get fired for just looking stupid. You give no fucks. You can just get fired. It's just like you just die. I wouldn't want to put myself back in that predicament.
Yeah, but you're a sane, rational person.
But again,
who knows if this guy is like sane or rational?
Remember how angry he was at not being chosen, and then he realized there was a fetus?
Yeah.
Why wasn't I chosen? I'm as good as any one of them. What?
Yeah, that would say that might be his first time in then.
Yeah, maybe. But that's what I'm saying. So if that's the case, if you go back, or if it weren't his first time, you get what I mean? Like what is the because he goes and he stands with a group that seemingly looks like it's about the same size, and they're about to be abducted as well because there's a ship moving towards them, and they're just watching.
Did you look in the background of that shot?
I tried, but I don't know. I might have missed something. What you see?
So there's something great. So in the background, there looks to be like a guy who was not a part of the movie at all, and he walks out and he like looks, and then he turns around and closes the gate to his shop and walks back in.
He's like, "Fuck this!"
Like he looked outside and just saw all these people staring at nothing, or maybe like there was like a PA who was just like, "Get the fuck back
It
in
could have been
there!"
that. Yeah, it could have been
And
that.
he's just like, all right, whatever.
That's funny. And only again from being around that's happened and being caught on camera, and I've seen that in TV shows where it's like, "Ooh, I know that wasn't supposed to happen. I knew that was supposed to happen. I was there."
Yep. They're like, we got 15 minutes to shoot this before LAPD shows up. Everybody look up there. Oh, we got it. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
We got 7 minutes of sunlight.
Right.
They said we got 4 minutes before they shut it down on us. Man, I done so many things. I done heard some craziness. They said it's no fire marshal. We got 4 minutes to get the shot. Let's go. But yeah, nah. So as far as the survivor though, I wouldn't say I'm like curious to the point of which I would like want a sequel.
You want a sequel of everything?
No, I kind of do.
Even Paper Tigers, an Empty Man.
I would read a written synopsis of a sequel for both of those. I don't know if I would waste my time and watch that.
No, I'm fucking with you. I wouldn't mind like curiosity. I mean, this is what's great, and movies do this to us as the audience. They leave us wanting more,
exactly,
being entertained, which is great. It's good,
right? You know, exactly. That's my whole point. Is I am more interested in where this could have went, where they could take the rest of it. But for what we got, you know, there's a lot that I could still say about it, but there is nothing bad. Like
I'm telling you, I want a prequel for Colossal. Colossus. I want a prequel for it.
That damn movie, man. The movie sucks.
What do you want, like Zendaya and Bobby Lee or something? Like what?
Yeah, would that be good?
Okay,
Bobby Lee and Zendaya.
I don't want no Bobby Lee in any movie.
No. Bobby Lee, I'll take Zendaya. I want Jennifer Lawrence.
But I also like the fact that you're talking about actors. But none of those actors or actresses or anybody I knew. There's no recognizable faces.
Yeah, which was great.
So you either go
no expectation.
Dexter.
Yeah, you either go full like you know everybody, like this is the end type thing, like you were talking about Nick earlier on, or you go you don't know anybody at all, because then you don't you don't really like you're just like everybody else in there. You just don't care in the beginning. You have to form those bonds. And then with that, so the husband and the wife story, before we lose that fucking thread, they end up lying about their whole marriage. Mm-hmm. And there's a nice setup and payoff where the husband gives his name. He's like the second one to give his name. And I didn't even write his name down.
Craig.
Are you sure?
Hi, my name's Craig. Oh, sorry, that's right. No names.
Oh, that's right. So that's the setup, and then the payoff is they're trying to figure out if they're married or not. And the woman who was being pretty much accosted about if over her husband's name, who turns out to have a wife, right, asks the wife what's her husband's name, and she doesn't know. And I think that whole setup payoff was kind of nicely done.
I think it was two sides of that setup to the reveal of them not being married. So there's that one I caught as well. And then actually I think there's a third, but this one's a little easier to point out. The man and woman, the doctor, the black man and the doctor lady, the black woman, how they said they knew each other, but
the affair.
But it's like, we're coworkers, neighbors. And I was like, they're having an affair, or they had an affair, something. And so as they go out, it's like, you never should have married that asshole. I know. Yeah, we go together. It was like, oh, that's love, that's sweet. But then when we find out that these two were not married, I immediately was like, I knew it, because when we found out that the black two, when they were being weird, I was like,
the black two.
Sorry, they're not
The
a couple.
black two.
Okay, fine. Black couple. We'll call them a black couple.
This movie made you racist. Come on.
That damn rich man, he got me.
You did.
But I'll call them the black couple, even though they weren't a couple. But the doctor and the black man, who are a couple, they when it was revealed that basically they were having an affair, I immediately was like, oh, the other two aren't married, they're having an affair too. I know it. I just immediately, it's something about it. I was like, that makes more sense, because either you were with someone and you got picked up with them, or you were alone. Like the one guy, he was in a car with a bunch of people, or he was in a car headed somewhere. They were stuck in traffic. He got out, started running. So at that point, he's by himself. So he wouldn't be with any of the people he was with. But the man and all four of those, they were all clearly in the middle of their affair or doing something based on their affair when they got snatched up.
Like
the married couple weren't even married, so maybe the other couple...
I think they were having an affair because the man had on a wedding band as well.
But who knows if they were having an affair? Who knows
I believe they were.
But you think, okay, so do you think that the black couple was telling the truth? Because maybe they weren't. Maybe they were lying.
Telling the truth about what?
Having an affair, like knowing each other. Because nobody else knew each other, not even the married couple. So why is it that those two actually did know each other?
I think they knew each other, but they were lying about being neighbors or coworkers. But I believe they really knew each other.
I think that they didn't know each other, and they were creating a story, and that's why they said neighbors and coworkers.
But at the end,
one said one thing, one said the other.
That's true.
But when they die, though, they go out together, and they're like, the dude's like, you shouldn't have married that asshole. And she's like,
I just think they had like a fling that was a thing before. I
just think it's weird that they're the only people that actually know each other. Everybody else is proven to not know each other.
Well, the cop knew the domestic wife beater, his guy that beat his girlfriend.
How did the cop's prejudice not jump out? Like, why do we care that he beat up his girlfriend? I mean,
I love his heel turn, man. He has such a sharp heel turn.
He's just like,
hey, I know you.
What is it with you people?
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
But I was really sitting there like, how do you guys not see his prejudice?
Right.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, that's where, when he said you people, that's where he knew he fucked up.
Oh yeah, he for sure knew he fucked up there. Mm-hmm. Which he fucked up before that, but when you're in a room full of majority people who kind of think like you.
Yeah, and like all those people like kind of liked him because he was the guy that pointed out the dude that was beating his girlfriend.
And that's what I mean. People who like they just think oh yeah, he's a cop, so I can't really say that so loosely. People who automatically think like, oh, you did one bad thing or somebody knows something bad about you, so there's no level of redemption.
Man, he said it. She shouldn't have been fooling around on him.
Right. And nobody wanted to hear anything about that. It's like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't be a criminal. Criminals get hurt too, Holmes. Like, lost my cousin. He was 16. My old lady cheated on me. Like,
everybody had their stories in there too. Like one of the was it the mother that lost her kid, so she volunteers herself?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only lines in her movie, and she's like, "Goodbye, everybody."
Goodbye, everybody. Look, listen, right? That was me. I was like, "Yo, somebody knew how to pull that heartstring." That was the best abuela moment I've seen in anything except like Coco or an Encanto or something like that.
The thing was, she didn't even have to step off in that moment. The thing, like, everybody got so caught up in that room that no one was like, "Hey, you can chill for like 30 seconds."
Yeah, easily she would have had at least till the next kill.
Yeah, you could just chill. You don't got to go right now.
She said goodbye, everybody, bro. I paused it and got up and got water. Like, nah, I'm not about to cry. They about to murder somebody else anyway.
Yeah, it was hard to like pause that. Like, yeah, that pacing too makes it difficult to be like, all right, I'm gonna go grab something because by the time you come back, someone else is gonna be dead.
Gone. Yeah, you gotta pause it. You gotta pause it. You're gonna miss.
What the hell happened? Yeah,
it's not one of the, and that's another thing. This movie didn't have a lot of downtime, which is why it was allowed, or it could be only an hour and a half and still be full. Not really have anything missing. A lot of other movies, when you're changing locations, you have characters doing different things, and you're trying to tie it all together. Excuse me. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to lose things, have a lot of dead moments where it's like, oh, we had to involve this character because you haven't seen them in 4 scenes. No, we didn't.
Like The Matrix.
Oh, that one chick that got it really bad when they tied her with some dude. She just didn't even say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then what was that dude? The guy that was trying to shame the porn star chick.
Yeah,
wait, she really did look like a porn star in real life.
She wasn't a porn star. She was just a lookalike. You meant to look her up.
I mean, or a stripper, one of the two.
I was thinking stripper.
But I went to look up the person that played her in real life. Like, all right, let me find out this is a porn star who got a role in a real movie. Like,
Bobby,
is that
are you hearing this, Bobby?
That's why you were late. All right, I got you. Don't worry.
Research.
Is that room soundproof? She watching the show?
Always and always.
Always and always. But no,
yeah,
I found where you wanted to finish your idea.
It was just I was gonna say about the guy though who was taking shots at her. I think it just got to a point where he had already won the I wouldn't call it a landslide round, but he threw the other girl under the bus for being an atheist, and because he somehow survived that round, he knew he was next, so he was just trying to get somebody out before him.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. But I kind of like that stuff more than what it ends up to moves into, because after it explores all these nuances of morality, jobs, like you see that with Sweater Vest, where he's trying to figure out what people do for a living, because there's some people that contribute more to society than others, and if you don't contribute, you should die.
And there's just some absolute shit people that contribute plenty.
Yeah, you run through your racism, you run through your sexism, you run through your sexual orientation stuff, and then it gets, ageism. Yeah, runs through all of that stuff, and then it kind of falls into this thing of trying to make teams and block voting, and then it just kind of just hangs around there.
Politics, right?
Yeah, there's always an alpha in each sort of round, and the alpha and
no, I think he
sorry.
Oh man,
I got frozen.
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. My internet is being stupid. No, I was just saying that there's always an alpha, and then the alpha gets ousted, and then a new alpha comes in,
and then get out of it. The rocker dude became an alpha at one point. You're like, where the hell did this guy come from?
Grunge Jesus.
Grunge Jesus.
And I think at a certain point he realized, well, if they could do it, I could do it. And here's something we've all heard, right? Pressure bursts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. So, excuse me. I think what ended up happening with him was after a certain period of time, you start seeing certain people, they just can't handle it. They don't know how to make a decision. They don't know which way to go. And it's like, all right, hey, look, I can make decisions sound enough. I'm in charge. And enough people did it before him it's like, all right, well, I guess it's my turn. And that's really what I think happened with his character. How he jumped out there in front, so to speak.
But you always see it. It's like the tallest peg syndrome, or the tallest lily or dandelion or whatever. It's like whoever stands out in the crowd is usually the one that gets targeted. Yeah.
And it's interesting though too. Like another theme, they always go a little bit too far. They always get either real bloodlusty, super racist, super religious, or super atheist. They always go a little bit too far down that road, and then they get killed.
Yep, the crowd turns on them.
Right, and this movie got unnecessarily racist, and
it did.
Even from the black guy side too, it was like, all right, bro, there was nothing racial going on here. But once he did that, it was almost like, wait, was he right? Like, damn, there is a lot.
Well, it's like a self-fulfilled prophecy, right?
It's fucked up, but I agree, man.
And now, from a society side, we all
not true on that, but society, do you always have to put race into it?
And that's what I mean. That's what I meant from the movie stance of it. Like, if we're talking about but in real life, but we're talking about this movie.
I'm telling you, man, everybody should have just dropped their pants and been like, booyah.
But too, though, so if it's a reflection of LA can be racist. LA, where
Very
you live,
racist.
What are you talking
depending on the parks, never.
Is
Not
Mexico,
everyone,
but nobody will admit that.
It's LA, man. Come on, we live in California. Unless you're going up north, depending on what small towns you go to.
Right? Look, I mean geographically.
Yeah, of course. But anyways, like where you can draw out boundary lines where a predominant racial group lives in LA. You definitely can do that. Mm-hmm. And I think though, as a reflection of it, I think that's maybe why it got super racist to the point of like absurdum.
Yeah. I mean, it would have gotten racist anyways because what this whole thing brings the worst out of people. You know.
Yeah. So that was the whole point of it all. It's how bad is it going to get? How nasty can they get?
Bro, that Asian dude was like, man, I wish there were some more Asians around. I would have formed an alliance with them.
Right? I like how he kind of threw that out. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, I see what he did with that. It's like, this wasn't necessary, but this is where we are. But it also painted that picture for the slippery slope that was going to have to begin eventually. Like, people are scared. And when people are working out of fear, good luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can make them believe anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can make themselves believe anything even worse.
Yeah, because like they're scared. No chance to really think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it shuts off the brain. Like the survivor guy though, what he really did was just flip words onto people. Like when the rocker dude was getting ahead of himself, he looked at him. He's like, I forget. He asked him some question, and the dude goes, "You know where I stand. If I tell that to you, I've literally told you nothing, but you in your mind think I stand somewhere on something, and we'll just reconfirm it."
Yeah. He let a lot of people just assume what he was going to do at the end. He let everybody assume that he was going to let the pregnant woman live.
And I think that's why he wasn't able to say it anymore.
Nobody suspected that he would, so he already secured himself in at least the final two or the final three. And so, yeah, I mean, that was smart as fuck, dude. That's some like high level survivor shit when you have like the heel that takes over the season by betraying everybody.
Come on, we're gonna do it at the same time.
Yeah. You vote for me and I'll vote for you, okay?
He got the kid. That kid though, that little girl had balls of steel, by the way, at the end there. And somehow
I'm so glad they gave her a line because she was not going to get her SAG card for that movie. She was quiet most of the time.
Or crying.
She had like 2 lines earlier where she said, "I don't want to die," or "Okay, I'll do it." Yeah, like that was it.
I think she got the bare minimum for her SAG card.
At least she got a credit.
Definitely got a credit.
That's right.
She's probably. What do you think she'll be listed as? The little quiet girl, the little girl next to the pregnant lady, or the little girl who almost survived?
Little girl.
Just little girl.
Yeah. Dead girl.
How about that? Little dead girl.
Little dead girl. Jesus.
Here you go again.
Hey, listen, this movie was TVMA, so you're gonna say some out of pocket stuff, man.
No, this movie gets you to like, it's interesting what it pulled out of every one of those characters too. Like, I'm pretty sure they killed the psychologist just because she was a psychologist.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Kill one of the only people in the room that might be able to help figure this out.
Yeah. So you go from when it's like, so the room's full of 50 people in the beginning, you go from exploring these nuances, whether or not it's a reflection of LA, debatable, fair. And then it goes into that block voting thing. And then like that politics stuff just kind of runs through the rest of the second act, which makes me wonder too if it kind of fell apart in the writing room when they were doing it. They're like, let's just stick with this block voting, which team they're going to get on, like the survivor type thing. And then it stays that way up until the final 5, I think, where you get the quiet guy, or the final 6. Hold on, I have notes.
I think it's around 7 actually.
Final 4. Yeah, maybe final. Well, the final 4 I have is survivor dude, silent dude, kid, and pregnant woman. And that was the final 4 I took notes from.
And before that, it was Grunge Jesus.
Yeah. And the final 6, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Frenchies died, and then it was the couple. Oh, there was that part where there was the 4-way tie, where the porn star got.
That was
shot.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, wait, how they gonna play this one out? And it was like I didn't understand why the bearded guy survived that. I didn't understand how he survived that.
He didn't get a vote, I guess.
And
he was still leader.
It didn't seem like they re-voted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because they all voted for, each of them voted for one person, maybe
something like maybe.
Yeah. Well, because I think when it's in a tie, you can only vote for the people in the tie. And maybe nobody voted. No one else voted.
Maybe.
You know, there is one technical thing though too that actually my mind jumped to because of the porn star thing. So when they're trying to vote her or the guy, the guy who starts. Is it the guy who starts accosting the porn star? Or anyway, the guy is like, "Who's that girl?" I think it's the atheist thing that you're talking about. But they're focused on him, and the tension is building because they're stuck in a tie. Someone's crying, and right as they get shocked, it just cuts to black, which is great because the whole set is black. Like you can't see anything behind like the characters. And I just thought from a technical point of view that was like a nice cut because you find out the person you thought was going to die is still alive.
Yeah, a little misdirect there.
Yeah. But yeah, final four. You're left with the silent guy, and the silent guy basically his whole strategy was he wasn't going to kill anybody and he wasn't going to say shit.
Pretty solid strategy. I mean,
that might be a strategy I take.
It got him down to the final 44, 46.
Final four.
Oh, excuse me. It got him past 46. Yeah, it got him down to the final four.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so weird though, because it's like if you're gonna take that strategy, but you're not gonna win, why not just die first?
Yeah. You just maybe you're just hoping. Or maybe you're hoping that if you don't
maybe if you just don't say anything. Yeah.
Well, if you don't say anything, you don't vote, then there might be a thing where you can't be selected.
Right.
You don't know how the game works, right?
Right.
And I think that I almost think I would have enjoyed that sort of twist where
I would have too, actually.
Where like the people that vote end up surviving.
Yeah.
That would have been really once they said he hadn't voted or anything and I thought about it, it was like that would be actually cool if he won just based on that. Like what if when they figured that out, everybody else, including the pregnant lady, including the kid, got zapped at the exact same time. And then they just let him walk out.
Yeah. I would have liked that too. I mean, I don't mind the ending that they gave us, but that would have been I think that would have been the sort of positive side to the ending that we got.
And if we got that, you know what I would have thought the meaning of this movie was? Mind your fucking business.
yeah. And stop trying to kill people.
Mind your business. That's all.
There's all these little lines that my mind's jumping to now. Like, no, we'll keep going for it. I'm sorry. Just thinking of like, so he doesn't kill anyone. He's kind of heroic, just like the first kid that volunteers himself, and his name is Sean. And then the guy in like the business suit without the jacket, right before he steps off, you're a fucking hero, kid. Thanks, Scott. I'm gonna name my kid after you.
Wow.
That's what he's doing.
He's cold-blooded.
And I know I feel like he did it on purpose, just like the other guy. Like you knew his name was Sean. Like, so what?
Yeah. Just playing people. So you get down now to the final three. It's the little girl, pregnant woman, and survivor guy. We're not saying any names because we don't learn their names. Right. Anybody's names we learned, they die. And the kid, the guy's like, I'm gonna die. Don't worry about it. But then, like, one of you has to die. Like, two people will end up voting for each other. They'll end up in a tie, and then both of them die. In the theory of the game. So the guy convinces the little girl to step off of her triangle at the same time he does so that they both die and then the girl or the pregnant woman wins. And he forces her to step off at the last second, which seems a little cheesy, like a little bit too much of a coincidence from a writing point of view, but it's fine.
Very well timed.
Yeah. I'm sold. You got me. I'm in disbelief. Whatever. Little girl steps off, and then you cut to his hand as he like turns it and then closes it, which means you like you vote it, and he votes for the pregnant woman, and she gets zapped. You're like, this fucking douche. And then the voting sound starts to come off and the tension starts to build. And you're like, oh, this dude's going to get his comeuppance. Like the aliens, they don't give a shit. They're just going to kill everybody. Right? I guess this is how it's going to end. And then you find out that he's in a tie with the fetus inside of the pregnant woman. Well, I guess the full-grown baby, because she's like obviously in her third trimester. She looks like she's about to pop there before the movie is even at the halfway point. And another voting happens, and you just see him vote. And so he's willing to kill a baby in the womb to survive.
Yeah.
And my question is, did the baby get a chance to vote too? Like,
yeah.
Like, come on, player. Baby ain't got
no. That wasn't very fair.
My question is like, if it's all like, so is it? I guess it's human life, but if it's all life, do you think there's like a ship with like a bunch of animals on it?
Could be.
Yeah. Fucking ants and spiders going at it.
Yeah, right. There you go.
No, like Noah's Ark. Why?
Why gotta be Noah's Ark? It could be Natalia's Ark.
Hey, listen, I read.
We don't know the history.
I read the book. I did not make the story. I was curious, what would have happened if the pregnant lady survived? So would she had to eliminate her own fetus? Like,
yeah,
looks like it.
What you talking about, Willis? Like, make it up.
Yeah,
it's like the snap. What you think happened to pregnant women due to snap in fucking Infinity War?
So I'm glad you said that because you brought me back to a thought I had earlier. I do believe that the aliens. So this is part of the MCU. We just don't know it. It's Thanos, and these aliens, they believe that Thanos was right, and this is their means of doing it, going planet by planet.
Nice.
Wow. You want to know what my theory is? It's not even aliens. It's the Russians.
There you go.
It's the Chinese. What are you talking about? Fuck wrong with you?
You're all wrong. They only hit LA. Clearly, they came either from Vegas.
Or I'm sorry. After we watched Don't Look Up, we know now it's the fucking Americans.
I thought you were going to say it's LA, so it's the Republicans. This is how.
Hey. Take your ass on. Well, I guess you found me out, sir.
You found me out, sir.
You found my nature.
I ain't gonna say the whole joke. I'm just gonna go South Park. I do say so.
Motherfucker.
So this dude kills a fetus and survives the game, and the prize that he gets is getting dumped off in the LA River, where I guess the ship was kind of slowly passing over. He walks through an underpass, and you start to hear him a few bits of his dialogue where he's masterminding things, and he's had apparently a strategy from the beginning of how to get all these people to play against each other, and Stick was saying kind of stay hidden but speak at the right time and add the right motives to other people. And he walks out on the street and sees all these people staring up at the sky, and he looks at them. He just kind of looks at the ship and then looks at them, and it's all old people, pregnant women, things like, we don't know if they've been a part of the game or if they're just onlookers, and they're staring at a ship. And then it just cuts to black and it ends.
Right. You just made me think of something I didn't think about. What if those were all survivors?
Could have been.
Yeah. My thing though is like I don't think they would have that same reaction. I think.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be staring. I think they'd be trying to get the fuck out to their family.
Yeah, because I'm sure everybody wouldn't have been as sadistic as him.
Yeah, because that's like he's different than them.
It looked like mostly kids and like one pregnant woman out there. Like, I mean, almost the same makeup, except
could have been survivors. Kids. It could have been survivors. I just don't know why they'd be staring at the ships. It'd be like, they'll take you again, man. What are you doing?
Like, take you again. Look, let 50 of y'all gather right here. They gonna unidentified.
So it begs the question though, because like they were in the ship, they're talking about like if we're on here to figure out who's good or bad, right? And you just have one pregnant woman, you have one kid. So what if like the pregnant woman, the kid is like the aliens usually don't pick those up. They just pick up bad people, and all those people inside that ship has done something shady.
I thought that until I saw the kid, not the pregnant woman, because she's still an adult.
Oh, she's a murderer.
Baby didn't do nothing.
The kid? Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, she knew it's possible.
She knew when to try.
Yeah. Listen.
And she didn't care about her own life.
Definitely murderers in real life. Like, so I'm not putting that past her. But I'm saying in the movie, I definitely stopped thinking that just like at first I was like, all right, listen, they're either murderers.
Bro, I block this fucking bot every goddamn time we're on the thing. It's just like love face, online strips without clothing, blah blah. Why? Ooh. And I block them every goddamn time, and they just keep coming back. Stop coming back.
You? Right?
I don't know.
What sites do
go
you
to your real page, subscribe, and notify yourself when we're on. Just stop with the spam. But yeah,
bots got feelings too, man.
Is it screen time? Do we got to replace the S with a dollar sign? Do you have to start doing like Xbox Live?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. It might be a bot following us.
Screen time continuum. Little X, big X, little X.
Yeah.
Maybe not 3 X's. But yeah, so I agree. But I was gonna say is as far as the ending though, I don't know what would have happened if the pregnant woman survived. A kid surviving, okay, now you have somebody to tell the story. This asshole surviving. I think he's gonna just become a murderer, but whatever.
I think so too. Probably.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he's that remorseful. So.
Well, you don't learn anything about his life, right? You don't
learn anything about him, period.
About anybody, really. They stopped sharing too much. So
yeah, because of Beth. You see HR. I'm happy the HR woman died.
See what happens when you let HR get involved?
Now my prejudice is being shown against HR people. No, HR is great. I love human resources. I love being called a human resource. Everything's awesome. Everything's great.
Cattle.
All right.
Good.
All right.
I guess is this where you usually do your
I give it a 10. Let's go.
You like final statements or final thoughts or something?
Yeah, we usually just do like final thought plus our rating, just wrapped into one. So
I said, did John say he's going first? What?
Yeah, I already said I give it a 10, dude.
Wait, we should vote for who goes first in spirit of the movie.
Yeah. Keelan.
I'll just join the no, you can't see it.
You guys are gonna make me open my Jack Daniels right now?
No, man, we're just trying to avoid
right now.
We're trying to avoid the Black Folk Alliance. That's
drink Jack Daniels Tennessee quality with a perfect mix of whiskey and cola.
Whiskey and cola.
Is this an ad?
Whiskey
this is not an ad.
Hey,
We're not sponsored by these people.
I could make you a better drink. What are you doing drinking that? Thought I taught him better.
You didn't share enough. That's the difference.
I volunteered myself next round.
Well, dude, if I have to give it anything, it'd be give it a 7. Cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheesy.
It ain't easy being cheesy, man.
And that's all I can say. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. Seen this happen quite a bit on a bunch of fronts, but I thought this was interesting. It was done in this front. It's sad it didn't get the recognition that it did. Was about 7 years ago, but yeah, I think it would have been a hit if this movie was seen this year, especially with Squid Games and things like that, since that's like something that's definitely took off, especially if it was like a Netflix thing or like a Netflix original and things like that, which I think we will see quite a bit of movies like this or even TV series like this pick up. And yeah, it's easy to get involved in, enjoy it and look at people for what it's worth to what we want to remember about the type of society we live in and what people would do at all costs. But yeah, it's a cool couch popcorn flick.
Nice.
Just to hang out with friends or a date. I like it. It's cool.
Good sauce. All right. I will piggyback.
Was that a 10 for real?
No, he said 7.
Oh, I missed it.
You see, you thinking about the Jack Daniels still? Ain't that some shit?
I was still over here like, who drinks Jack Daniels out of a can?
Hey.
But you know,
next to you, shit happens that way. When they don't got Guinness, shit happens that way.
I like how he's looking at you like we're in little squares in the fucking Brady Bunch.
Yeah. All right. I'll go next. I'm gonna give this.
Vote. I'm telling you, we got to do this thing in the spirit of the fucking movie, man.
All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's a square. It's not a circle. It's a square.
So
you gotta like. Oh yeah, you have to like.
I can't even do it. What the fuck do I?
There we go. So it is.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
There we go. Damn it. Both of y'all. All right. It's me. I'm going to give this a 7.5. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was good. It's a B movie. It's cheesy. It's got some camp. It's got some good, philosophical questions, utility monsters, that type of stuff. It's all interesting. Most of the acting is decent. The early on acting is shaky just because those people weren't going to be around for very long. But the people who got towards the end did, I think, a really good job at acting. So I enjoyed that. I love just sort of the simplicity of the set piece, not having to do much, very, story driven, which is nice. And for a B movie, I think it does a pretty damn good job about, tackling some interesting topics. So 7.5 for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So that's a pretty good 7.9. I mean 7.5. Excuse me.
Now
he's trying to talk his way out of a rating. There's some shit.
Mike has to be less. He's the kid. He's the pregnant woman.
Damn.
Pregnant woman.
Well,
I don't want to take your place.
So, you don't know what
if you go for pregnant one, I guess I was the first black man to go.
It was a scary movie.
That shit was scary. It was suspenseful more than scary.
If
I see tentacles coming out the shadows grabbing people, I'm like, oh, fuck that.
I definitely call this a suspense drama more than a thriller or a horror movie.
The black guy didn't die first in this movie. He died second.
Well, we voted me to die first for this review.
You voted you first when you volunteered that 10. That's what happened.
You know what? You know what?
You inspired the order.
It's in my nature. Have you ever seen Money Talk?
Yes.
Then there you go.
Okay. I wasn't sure where that was going. There was a moments in Money Talks. How he grab you like this? All right. So I did enjoy this movie. I plan on revisiting it. I will revisit it next time with probably a larger group of people to watch it with, just to see other people's reactions. And that's pretty much that. There's nothing really bad to say about this movie. We've all given high points, low points. I think I agree with everything that's been said from myself and the three of you. So with that, I'm just going to go straight to my rating after saying all of that. I'm going to give this movie a 7.5.
Okay.
I'm going to add this real quick, and you guys have broken something. And I mean, what you guys broken your belief on good movies. You don't have much to say. But since you guys like that, you have plenty to say. So I don't want to hear that shit next time.
I can't say we had plenty to say as much as we really just broke down the moments.
But this is a B movie, and I'm taking the consideration that this isn't like it made me laugh. It's not supposed to make me laugh. So, I enjoy it for the cheesiness of it.
It's like what is it? Negligent? Malignant. I can't even say it correctly.
Malignant.
Like Malignant or Malignant?
That shit. That was funny.
Yeah, Malignant was hilarious.
You're looking for
Malignant was funny.
That's what you're looking for. Weird schlock.
Schlock.
Right.
Like
And Malignant might have been funnier than this, being truthful.
Calm down.
I mean, Malignant was pretty funny. The reveal was great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mikey Meek.
So I don't know where I enjoyed the movie. It is schlocky, and from a schlock point of view, it does it well. It takes it in earnest. Technically, it's really decent. I mean, there's one or two good edits in it. The cinematography is enjoyable to watch. The framing, the composition, all that stuff works. There's like Kubrickian inspirational shocks with the whole alien sci-fi thing, which is cool. Sound wise, it works. There's some stuff that feels like it lags a little bit within as far as what you're seeing versus what you're hearing. The actors, I mean, they just pulled people off the street, so I'm cool with that. It works because it's supposed to be an alien abduction movie. My biggest gripes is where it sort of like falls apart into just like block voting, and it kind of like the pacing is good because there's 2 minutes, but sometimes the dialogue feels like it drags within those 2 minutes. It's a really weird feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of forget about that stuff, which is good, and you're suspended in disbelief, even if this little girl can step off the thing at the right moment where the guy kills the pregnant girl. So I guess like an 8. Like I was stuck between an 8 and a 6, but I was able to not critique it so much where there's moments where I forgot to take notes on the beats of the film. Mm-hmm. So that's where an 8 out of 10, 6 for me.
Sweet. Which brings our total to a 30 out of 40. So that's a 7.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to know what my piece thinks about it?
No.
Yeah, what you think now? They don't get to vote.
Yeah, right? I like how in unison, I don't think neither Dejan nor me looked near the camera, and we both know.
No.
I'm looking at the camera.
Oh, you look.
You can't see me. Look at the camera.
I was writing down the ratings, so I was just like, no.
All right, guys. Anything else before we wrap this up?
You guys are awesome, and I enjoy doing this with y'all.
Hey,
you're a weirdo, man. What the fuck?
I am.
You don't say that. You don't say that on camera.
I say it whenever the guy wants to, and I censor myself. How about that?
Nice.
You're weird.
You're weird.
And I thought I was weird.
Thanks for having me on. Look, let me just be weird too. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. We're excited to continue this journey with you and have you on for future episodes. So.
I had to come just to make sure my replacement would do good on Wednesdays.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, why are you trying to replace the black guy?
Which one?
He replaced himself. So.
It's not bad. I mean, it's a nice tone change, from black to brown. Why not?
We cover our diversity bases here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like we go from light to dark. You see how that goes?
Contrast.
Like
the lighting, man.
Nice.
Nick is blue up there and I'm purple down here.
I think I've said enough offensive things this episode, so I'm gonna stop.
I think we all have, so it's all good. All right, let's wrap this up.
Wait till we review Gone with the Wind.
Oh, Jesus. All right. No.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Frankly, my dear, I don't trust those people.
Right. Like, what? Throw the whole movie in the trash.
Yeah.
No, that movie is hilarious. What the fuck wrong with you? Especially when that kid is on the pony.
That line change is not
great.
Hey, Culver City, that's where they filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
The Inks Studios, or what used to be old MGM. That's the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the hood.
And go throw some water balloons at it. That's what I did.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. We very much appreciate it. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know I certainly did. Thanks again to Mike for bringing this to our table. And we look forward to working with him in the future, and be on the lookout to catch Mike in future episodes every Wednesday and Sunday if he feels like it. It'll be fun. So.
Oh boy.
We're sleeping.
But yeah,
you're gonna have to tune in to find out.
That's right. Exactly.
Or
exactly.
else
it'll be a surprise.
We'll vote your ass off, rating style.
Yes, exactly. We are here every Wednesday and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Be sure to give us a like and a subscription to our YouTube page and our Facebook page. We're also on the Think Green Tots page on Facebook. We all have podcasts on our own as well. If you want to check those out, Keelan's got a podcast. It's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. It's called If Numbers Could Talk. Go check him out. Make sure you like his Facebook page and YouTube page, and make sure you give him a subscription so that you know that, or he knows that you appreciate his work. He does shows on statistics, numbers, anything that you can quantify and sort of run the numbers on. He's doing it. So please go check him out at If Numbers Could Talk, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Dijon the Mustard's got a Twitch channel. It's called Strawberries and Coffee. He does his show on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. He also has a YouTube channel, Strawberries and Coffee, where he posts all of his previous recordings and live recordings. So you can check out the catalog on Strawberries and Coffee on YouTube. Make sure you give him a subscription to his Twitch channel as well. Me and Mike got a podcast. It's called Exofathom. It's on Monday nights at 8 p.m. We just got done with an episode that was about mazes, which is a great one that Mike did. Go check that out. It's on our Facebook page and YouTube page at Exofathom. It's also on Verbal and Rumble and Odyssey and all that stuff. So just go check it out. Next episode will be on luck. So stay tuned Mondays at 8 p.m. for Exofathom. But since you guys are purists, and we know you are, and just want to hear us blabber on about movies and TV shows and critique things for which we have no credentials, thank you for taking this trip through the Screen Time Continuum with us for Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
I'm the Mustard.
I'm Headphones.
There you go. Good night, everyone.
Okay, radio.